Everyone, welcome to Shoqni's Kafe Muhabet. So Shoqni, for those who are not familiar with it, means friends in Albanian, and Kafe Muhabet, it means conversation over coffee, which is why we got our coffee mugs here. So Shoqni is an Albanian American women's club. It's a private page on Facebook, and we have invited RIA to join us today in our little Muhabet over coffee. So thank you, RIA, for joining us.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Thanks. RIA is an advocate and spokesperson,
Yes.
for the LGBTQIA plus community. She'll go into all of that a lot more and explain to us exactly who she is. But I would like to start is, as all Albanians, we want to know everything about your past. Who are you? Who is your family? Where did you come from? Where were you born? So as much about your background is much appreciated. Just let us know a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, I was born in Macedonia in this little Ohrid. I was.
Okay.
Yeah, I obviously don't
by
remember.
the big lake.
There's that's beautiful there. I guess I've never been, but I was born there. A lot of my family's over there, like everyone else's. They're all scattered everywhere. But we were two. I was two, and my brother, my sister. I have a brother and sister. They were little babies. So we came to America when I was 2 years old. And obviously growing up in this country, America, compared to over there, our parents were raised over there. So it's different. They're raised differently, obviously. So we're raised around kids who can do whatever they want, be whoever they want to be. Like, it was just different the things that my friends did that I couldn't do was different. So being Albanian Muslim, it was hard growing up being able to do, especially as a woman, Like, if they have a boy, forget about it. You know what I mean? Like, the boy they do whatever they want. As long as the boy is good. Yeah, they're the kings of the castle, and the girls are like the movie Cinderella. You know what I mean? You're like you're treated like that, almost as if like you're only expected to be one thing, and that's just a housewife. Exactly. And that's what my mentality was taught like that from the beginning. It's like, who's going to marry you if you do this? Who's going to, and me, I was athletic. I was tomboy. I was different from the regular girls that wanted to be pretty and makeup and, into stuff like that. And I wasn't, I had a different style, different, everything my parents, my mom was against, you know what I mean? So from the get-go, it was hard for me to be who I wanted to be from the get-go. So it was tough growing up. I pretty much was raised in Connecticut. That's it. Like, this is all I've known. I've never been back home. Going through high school was a hard time for me. It was a hard time, obviously. But those are the little bits of who I am as far as the Albanian background and what a lot of Albanian women go through growing up. How we can almost all relate. Exactly. How we've been treated growing up and how it's not easy being a woman in the Albanian culture at all. Yeah. So yeah, that's a little bit about me as far as being quick about where I was from coming here. So yeah.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, you touched exactly, you had a couple of questions that were related exactly on what you touched on, because
I'll get more into detail about stuff. Yeah, that's just a little bit.
Yeah, Shoqni started, the original Shoqni was a forum way back. How many years now? 20 years ago. But we started our Facebook page exactly a year ago now. So it was right before COVID, and it was all these Albanian Americans who, jumped on this. They were looking for a home, things to do when quarantined, and we all had so much in common, not even realizing it, being from different Macedonia, Montenegro, Kosovo, Albania, and realizing we actually do have so much in common just because growing up in a country that didn't understand, friends that didn't understand. So there's an aspect of trying to figure out who you are as a person, and then with the outside pressure of the Albanian community. So
and trying to live here. Yeah, it was hard.
Exactly. Yeah. So I want to jump in something that's specific to Albanians that I know a lot of people have lived through. It's not as common now. I know definitely not back home, but I know here in America, I know a few people who have experienced it, but arranged marriage. It was something that you've been through yourself, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that, and if you're okay with it?
Oh
Let
yeah,
me
yeah,
know if
yeah,
I ever
yeah.
ask anything you don't want me to talk about.
I mean, if obviously, but I try to be as open as I can without going so deep, you know, because then I get my own emotions. It's still obviously trauma to me that
I
I
want to make you,
still
we want to
work
make you
on.
cry.
No, it's okay. Honestly, I think I'm all cried out. I'm cried out anyway at this point. But yeah, I was 16, like I said, through high school. You know what I mean? Like, and if I'm 33 now, so I don't know. It's probably a lot more different than when I went through it. But growing, like you can't get past a certain age too. Like you had to be perfect. No one could talk about you. You couldn't do anything. One bad thing someone talked about you, it's it. You can't have a husband. No one's gonna want you. You know what I mean? Yep. And they put that in your head. You know what I mean? No one's gonna want you if you behave this way. And like you're not good enough just being you. It's like they tell you that they make you feel bad. Like you have to meet certain criteria to even be gifted a husband. You know what I mean? So I was 16. My parents, I remember being in this room actually. My mom came downstairs and she's like, Idea, because that's my Albanian name. Obviously, it's my given name. Idea, I have a picture to show you. Your cousins that knew my family, whatever, said that they knew these people. So, you know, through people talk, you know, how they get you to meet people. So they gave my mom this picture of this guy and they showed it to me. And I was like, oh, hell no. You know what I mean? Absolutely not going to happen. I'm not doing it. It wasn't even, not that, I mean, I knew I was gay, but I also I knew what I deserved too. And I was like, I'm not stooping that low. Like, I'm not that desperate of a man that I'm not a very shallow person. I'm not like, I can, but for you to get me to marry somebody that I am definitely not interested because I'm gay, if I'm going to do this for my family, at least give me a little, like, that's not, you know, like in the nicest way possible. I said no. And my dad pretty much threatened me and was like, no, you're going to do this or I'm going to whoop your ass right here, right now. He said, you literally have no choice. We're telling you you're going. And I was like, and I was deathly afraid of my father, like deathly at that point, like, cause you know, my dad scared me my whole life with threats like that. So my dad never put his hands on me really, but it was always threats that my dad, you know, their eyebrows, their looks, the fathers always scared you. They never touched you, but they always knew how to scare you. So I met him at Applebee's with his family. We sat there. I knew I was not going to do it. I knew I was going to be like, no, still. I was going to say no. And then I came home. I remember we came home. I told my parents I wanted McDonald's. I went to go get McDonald's with my siblings, came back, and then I was engaged out of nowhere. So, and this was all in not even 24, literally like in a couple hours of meeting this person. I only knew them a couple hours.
Out. I'm timing you out because I'm going to start crying because I got engaged over McDonald's dinner.
Okay, see, that's how much we're like, it's literally like, it's sad. It's kind of sickening to think about. Imagine, because you have, I don't know if you have kids or not, but imagine giving your daughter to strangers. You literally you met them for not even 2 hours and you trusted somebody with your child that you just gave them. That's trauma that I will have such a hard time, like just getting over. And I, the more time goes, I realize that these are things that I'm dealing with still. Like, it's hard to know that your family just gives you up to like, and you know, it's just sad. It's just sad that like, and then your child, you don't get to experience being a child. You don't get to experience, they try to get you to grow up at such a young age, right? Like they get you to grow up. They're like, well, you can't be this because you gotta, you know, your husband's, they have expectations. You gotta meet all the criteria for how to be the perfect housewife. So people don't talk about, it's all about, so people don't talk about you. And it was embedded in our heads, you know, it's embedded in your heads. It's a scare tactic to make you feel like you have to be a certain way, you know, or no one's going to want you. Can you imagine? Like, I'm sure, you know, like that growing up that way is traumatizing to make, you know, a person feel like they're not enough. Like you have to just meet their criteria to for them to want you.
It's very strange. Yeah.
You know?
Thank you for opening up about that, because it's
Of-
a lot of
of
people are sitting there like comparing your story to theirs. And I'm going to fast forward you a little bit, because you are obviously divorced from that husband. So how did divorce work? Because that's the big D in the Albanian culture, is
I got lucky.
especially back then. You got lucky. Okay, can you?
I never wanted to, because my parents was a big, you know, divorcing is haram, like the worst thing you can do. You know what I mean? My parents told me they don't care. I have to suck it up. They don't care how I was being treated. I have to suck it up because that's what my life was. So they did not believe in divorce. So I was lucky because my cousin, who's my aunt's first, you know, my mom's sister's daughter, fell in love with the brother. So we were kind of like, you know, first cousins in the same household.
Okay.
And she was being mistreated really badly by her husband, as far as very violent. Like, I don't know if he ever put his hands on her.
Okay.
I don't recall. We lived in the same house, so I don't remember. I know she was very depressed and her situation was not okay. And they were very controlling. You couldn't go anywhere. She couldn't even talk to her. She couldn't even come to her aunt's house, which I stopped coming to my mom's house because she couldn't come because it's her aunt. So I felt guilty leaving her home by herself. So I stopped coming to my mom's a little bit because I stayed with her. It was that bad for her situation. And she was only not even married a year, to be honest with you. And she was like, told her family, and her mom was like, just come home. You know, she's like, I can't deal with this. Like, so for me to, you know, in the Albanian culture, once they divorce and we're all in one family, it's kind of like a big mess. You know what I mean? And then no one had kids, which was good. Nobody had kids, but it's just messy, you know, because then I can't talk to my aunt because they're divorced. But to me at that point was like, why am I gonna stay here too? If I don't even love you? We all had, I had my issues with him too. It's not like my relationship was good and I still had to stick it out, but my relationship was bad too. Like, it was becoming toxic. His mom was controlling. I don't know if you know, with the Albanian moms too, you know, they can be really crazy with their nooses, and they act like they are in control of your life, and they control their sons, and their sons, you know, do whatever mom says. You know, they're not all like this, but the majority that I've dealt with is
Have
like
that problem.
So
the big problem in our community.
Yeah, and guys somehow have a hard time, you know, being there for their wives. Don't know how to pick and choose between the other. But yeah, I mean, I basically said I was done. I'm leaving too, because it was a sticky situation. I told my family was okay with that because they knew it was messy at that point. So I was like, oh my God, God heard my prayers. Because I swear to God, I would pray all night and be like, every day, I'd be like, please let me get divorced. And I hope it's not my fault. Like, I literally prayed this every day, thinking it's never going to happen, but I still did it. You know what I mean? It still gave me hope praying. Mm-hmm. So I prayed to somebody. I prayed all the time that, you know, please, I don't want it to be my fault, because you know how it is. You know, if it's your fault, it's God. It's like your whole family's talked about. And I didn't want to disappoint my parents again for anything. So
there's that whole thing of shame in our culture, and you didn't want to shame.
Only for the women. The women.
Yeah, that's true.
Always the women. No one shamed the boys.
Motto.
The boys could have literally married outside of the culture. Nothing against that, because love is love to me, obviously. But obviously, if they did it, no one talked about it. Like if a girl did it, you know what I mean? If a girl did it, it was the end of the world, you know?
What was the next stage in your life after that? Where did you grow?
Next stage of my life, I thought my life was going to be gold after that. I thought I was going to be happy. Like, oh my God, I'm divorced.
You moved back home with your parents?
Yeah, I moved back home with I had nowhere to go. You know, I didn't have that divorce. I got divorced. I just wanted to be divorced. I didn't fight anything. He literally, the money I saved with him was a lot, but he gave me nothing. He let me only have $1,000 in my account. And I was just that's all I had. And I was just 21, 22. I didn't get to go to college, because that got taken away from me because they married me right after high school, and you had to be a housewife. So I couldn't even go to college. I was going through school with my parents. It was medical assisting school. So I tried to do something quick and fast so I can have money quicker, rather than being in school 4 years was a lot. And then I worked at the restaurant with my family because they owned a pizza place. And I did that for free. They paid my college. I helped them, whatever. But I didn't realize my family was going to keep me hostage at that point. Like no friends, nobody. Like I had nobody. They were afraid it was a door for me to like be bad. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to stray off. Like, I already got divorced. I already have that on record, right? And they were afraid that like, I'm going to ruin my reputation some more by just being me, having fun with my friends. And, you know, if you have fun with your friends and you go out, they plug in that stamp as you're a whore. You know what I mean? It's kind of, in the Albanian community, it's like, that's like, God forbid the girl does something, you know? And my parents kept me hostage. I didn't have a car. They took me to school. They brought me home. The only time I had a little bit of privacy was in the bathroom. And then I remember on my iPod, I had a girlfriend at the time because I got divorced. I ended up with a girlfriend. My parents, I feel like my parents already knew. I think that's why they were extra hard on me. They knew that I was gay. I remember having my iPad, and I didn't have a phone, but my parents thought it was only for music. But obviously with Wi-Fi, I can text on there too, but they didn't know. My brother came in my room. He's like, oh, let me use it. I was like, I'll give it to you, but please. I was like, don't give it to mommy and Bobby, please, because I'm going to get in trouble. I was like, please. I'm like, this is the only thing I have. And he's like, no, don't worry about it. Trusting my brother, I gave him my iPod, and he gave it to my dad. They set him up to give it to me. So my brother set me up. So my dad caught everything that was on there between me and my girlfriend at the time, which made my situation 1,000 times worse. And I eventually was like, I gotta get a boyfriend. I gotta get somebody from my parents to let me breathe a little bit.
So after that, your plan was to get married with an Albanian?
No, my plan was just to have a boyfriend.
Okay.
My plan was just to have a boyfriend. I literally just got divorced. My plan was only to have a boyfriend, just to get them off my back, to know that it was a mistake.
That was okay.
Because my brother outed me, you know what I mean? So I was trying to erase that and have them see, look, I'm good. I wasn't, it's okay. I'm not gay. I was trying to pretend still. So I went on Facebook and I met Ayla's dad, my daughter's dad, on there. We dated for like 3 months. And then the reason why I jumped into the marriage was because of the pressure. You couldn't date. It was embarrassing to date. You know what I mean? You couldn't date long. You have to like get married still. It was like pushed on you. Like, when are you going to do it? Everything, And so I just did it because my life was still hard even when I was living here and I still had a boyfriend. I was like, what? I'm going to go live with him. We're going to have our own thing and I'll be free. I don't have to worry about their rules. So I did that. And I was married to him for about 5 years. And during that was not an easy process either, being with him, because obviously he had his own, issues. We had our own problems, and his mom was in the picture for 5 years. So dealing with her toxic.
So he was Albanian. So your parents approved of it and they agreed with it because he was Albanian. And okay, all right. So were you friends? I mean, was he not someone that could? I mean, clearly he wanted you as a wife and as a nusa. Was that situation there too? Same.
Yeah, he approached me first. I didn't go look. I mean, he was in my messages, and I was like, okay, fine. I'm like, I'll talk to this guy and see what he's about. So I mean, it was just something that just happened. Being married to him, I was so miserable. My life just sucked. I was like, this is meant for me to live this life. Obviously, if I have to keep doing it, I was like, the only thing that could keep me happy, maybe a little bit, and make me feel like I have a purpose in life, is to have a baby. And I just wanted to have a child so bad. Got pregnant. I was about 8 months pregnant and lost my my daughter at that far along. I lost her at 8 months pregnant, and I didn't know. Yeah, and at that time, I'm like, you're kicking me while I'm down. I was just like telling God, I'm like, why do you keep kicking me while I'm down? What do you want from me? I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing everything my family needs, everything that you preach about in these books, everyone that brainwashes me to think to be this way, I'm doing it. And I was like, you're punishing me still? I was like, what do you want? You want me to go? You want me to just, I was that depressed. You want me to kill myself? Is that what where it's being pushed at? Like, I was so depressed. I wanted to kill myself at that point, because I'm like, what is this for? Being kicked down that bad. And I gave up on wanting a child. I just was like, you know what? If it happens, it happens. For some reason, something had me hang on. I don't know what I was hanging on to, but I hung on. Something in my head was just like, don't be stupid. Don't do it. You know what I mean? And then I thought about my family. I still thought about my family who put me through so much. I still thought about them and still said, you know, if I do this, I'm going to hurt so many people. And I don't want to do that. So a lot of things went in my head that I had to think about, even though I was really down. I was still trying to be positive a little bit. But then Ayla came along while not thinking about it. And that was obviously very traumatic for me to go through that pregnancy. I almost lost her too. I almost lost her during the process too, which was scary. But thank God, I would literally do that life all over again for my daughter. And I'm not angry about it at all. I'm not angry about that life. It's part of my story. Obviously, it's very traumatic that I still have to deal with the, feeling like I am enough. I don't have to be somebody I'm not anymore. People love me for me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to fit an image that was put in my head by my family, the people that are supposed to love me and protect me the most. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So it's been a lot for me to swallow that and be okay with that.
Do you have any regrets related to marriage and divorce? Anything that you did during that time frame that you regret now? I mean, any major? Do you regret? Obviously, I could say, do you regret getting married? Do you regret not running away? I don't know.
I mean, like I said, I would, if I regretted anything, it would mean I regret my daughter. So I can't say I regret anything. Unfortunately, I can't, because that's one thing that came out of this that's been a blessing that I will never. She saved my life, so I can't go back and regret. I don't regret anything. No.
Okay, I hear you. You're touching on what I want to call mental health and the awareness on mental health. I mean, all these traumatic experiences. Have you done any counseling? Have you ever sought professional?
I've never, because I've always had insurance problems. Like, even I worked in the medical field. It was never easy to have. It was always an out-of-pocket expense that I couldn't afford as a single mom. And I still, obviously I still can't, because obviously I quit my job, but I'm self-employed now. I can't just, it's expensive. It's not, it's a little rough, and that's an issue too in America, health insurance and being able to have a therapist. And what's helping me is my friends and family that genuinely love me for me. That's what's helping me. Meditation, everyday affirmations, things that I love doing. It's just my daughter, everything around me that I'm surrounding myself with good people helps me. I have my down days, but that's it.
No, of course. Yeah. No, thank you for touching on that, because even just connecting it back to the Albanian culture, again, every family is different, but I know my family, when you bring up therapy and they're like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Mental health, something like postpartum depression, that doesn't exist. What are you talking about?
They make you feel like they tell you to get over it. That's not an issue. It's all you have the problem. You know what I mean?
Oh, so exactly. So
they don't know about that.
I personally haven't tried counseling. I know a lot of people who have. Like you said, there are different outlets. There's, meditation, and everyone does what they need to help them get through something. But I think talking to someone, you're talking to us right now.
That's what I do. It helps talking to people. It helps putting my story out there, talking about it constantly. And it hurts me every time doing it. Obviously, I still have a lot to get through, but if I'm helping somebody, if my story helps someone, I will do it over and over again to help somebody. So it's not a problem.
I want to go into your family reaction to you coming out. So you said you've known. When did you know? Could you say when you knew?
I was 5 years old. I knew at 5 years old. I always had girl crushes. Every person I liked was a girl. So I'm like, and at that age I knew, because God, your family brainwashed you when you were little. It's so far back. It's like they don't let you grow, and they don't let you be kids. You know what I mean? They don't let you be a child. They try to grow as a daughter. They really try to make you grow so fast. And it's like, chill, ma, chill. You know what I mean? Like, let me be a child for a little bit. But I knew it was wrong. In my family. So I always kept that a secret. It's so weird. At 5 years old, I could have told my mom, I like girls, but I didn't. I always kept that was a hidden secret for me since then. And then after all the divorce, and obviously they kind of knew, right? So they kind of got caught. And then I played it like it was just a phase, whatever. But then my mom always saw, after I left Ayla's dad, my mom always saw me with this one girl all the time. And she's like, what's going on? Why are you always with her? I'm like, and I was on the phone and I was like, you know what's going on? I was like, that's my girlfriend. I was like, if you really want to know, that's my girlfriend. And I was like, I don't care how you feel anymore. I'm done. I was like, I'm living my life. And I was never planning to tell them because it's none of their business. To me, it's none of their business at that point. I was a grown adult. I was 27, 28 years old. So you know what? I was like, I'm going to live my best life. I don't need to come out to my family. I don't need to do anything. I'm living my life at this point. So my mom was like, well, I love you and this and that. And like, was like, well, I already knew. I was like, oh, you knew. And so my mom was like, that's why I married you so young. And I wanted to push you because I didn't want you to go this route. So I was like, oh, so you wanted to make me straight. I was like, you wanted me to live this life I didn't want. I was like, for your purpose, for what you know and what you've been taught your whole life, you were just trying to morph me into this image of what society wants you to do, me to be. I was like, I didn't understand. I was angry at that for a little bit.
Of course.
Yeah.
When did you come out to, I guess, the world? I mean,
oh my God, that was recently.
Oh,
that
really?
was recently on after TikTok made me comfortable.
So wait, like 2020?
2020, I came out on
Really?
the internet. I never once came out on the internet because I was very cautious about my parents' feelings still. I was very trying to still protect them. You know what I mean? I was like, they're letting me. It's like I needed their permission, but they're not giving me that much. They did, but they didn't. You know what I mean? Like my mom, I wouldn't say my dad, because my dad's been nothing but loving. My mom was so hard on me about everything. You know, she would call me disabled for being gay. She would tell me sometimes, I don't know how I made you. Like, you know, like you were like, it's like, how did I make you like this? Like, made me feel so bad for being alive sometimes. And she didn't realize she was saying these things and they were so hurtful. I mean, she regrets them now, but it's like that's why you gotta be so careful with your words, because when you say them, they stick, and you have to be careful, especially with your kids, because that's traumatizing and you affect them so much and you make them feel so unloved when you say things like that, that when we do find love, we are never going to feel worthy of love. And, you know, it's always going to be a battle. We're never going to find the right person for ourselves because we don't know what love is, because I've never known what true love is. I've never known what unconditional. I've only known conditional. I've never known someone to love you through everything. Never.
Did you come out to your family prior to TikTok? Like family being
27, 28. Yep. I did. My family knew at 27, 28. So I hopped on TikTok 31, I think I was. Just about to turn 32 because it was in April. So it was right around almost my birthday coming. So I was turning 32. So literally I came out on the internet proud, not giving a shit, because I saw so many other lesbians. Like I saw like how happy they were. I'm like, why do I care either? You know, it like motivated me. Like, why do I care? So I honestly didn't come out. I literally just was myself, did this like,
is who I am
video of like, I don't know, like this like transition. And then I just got like a ton of followers off of it. And then I remember people DMing me and like sending me messages like, how are you this confident in being who you are? Like, can you tell us your story? Everyone kept telling me their story. Can you tell? It's like they knew, like they wanted to know more of me. So I came out with my story after. I literally just threw out my story, and that caused me trouble in my whole family for a little bit too.
Did it really? Okay. So your immediate family, they weren't happy about that, or?
I actually,
how did they find out about it?
I lost contact with my brother for a little bit because he was angry at me. He thought I embarrassed the family. He's like, how could you do that? I'm like, what? Tell my story? I was like, you're upset at me because I actually left it PG-13. I was like, don't be mad at the little, I'm sharing a story and it's actually helping people. I was like, don't make me feel bad again for being who I am and just sharing my story. I was like, again, you're making me feel like you're the victim. I was like, you're the victim. So I was like, I lost my brother. I lost my sister for a little bit too, because I had a movie, not a movie. It was on like a Netflix thing. They wanted me, it was a queer for the queer community, like show, helping people come out or whatever. And I was going to be a part of it. And there was like a kissing scene that they were going to make me do. And then my sister was mad at that. She's just like, okay. She's like, so we all know you're gay. Why do you have to act it? And I'm like, oh, I was like, so now you're homophobic. I was like, cool. I was like, so nobody in my family supports me for anything. I was like, you guys are so ashamed of me. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? My sister's husband I still think he does, to be honest with you. I haven't even had a chance to connect with my niece and my nephew, sadly, because of homophobia. Like, I'm not really welcome there. I am.
Okay.
But
not like you wanted to
not
be.
with my fiance. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not going to show up there and go to family events, do anything and leave her home because you don't want me to show that I'm gay, like to your kids, because you're afraid that I'm going to turn your kids gay. You know what I mean? So it's like, I've just been so disconnected from my family, really. But now it's better. But obviously, like I said, stuff like this doesn't go away. You know what I mean? It's once it hurts you, it's hard to glue that back together. Like, it's okay. You know what I mean?
Do you feel in your heart of hearts, though, that you can work on that road to acceptance and to reconnecting with these people? I mean, or
I can. It works both ways, though. You know what I mean? You can't just half accept me. You either accept me completely and love me completely, or don't. You can't be in between that, because that's where you trick somebody into thinking, you know, you get your hopes up and you just tear me apart again. You hurt me again. You have to build boundaries with your family. Your family can be toxic. Your family, I don't care what anyone, it's not just your friends or your loved one. It's literally your family can be so toxic. And you have to protect yourself from that. And that's either disappearing, not allowing them part of your life, and that's okay. That's on them. That's not on you. That's what they get. You know, they did it. You can only do so much. You know, you can't kill yourself over it and make yourself feel bad, because I did that for a long time. I felt like I wasn't enough. I beat myself so hard for such a long time that it's like, you know, it was never me. It was never my problem. It was never who I am. It was always them. You know, it's the way they grew up. It's the way they've been brainwashed. You know what I mean? So
that's powerful.
It's hard, but yeah, I can always, I'm such a forgiving person. If somebody learns, I apologize for being red, because look, I get so like upset about things like this, because I still feel them. It still hurts me inside. So, but yeah, I can forgive anybody. If you can hurt me in the worst way, and if you apologize and you genuinely mean it, I can forget it, and we can start over. And that's my heart. That's how I am, and that's my biggest weakness too, because I get burned so hard too.
Okay. Family. One person that we see the most besides your daughter is your mom. We see a couple of appearances from mom on TikTok. Is she your you have the best relationship with her? Is she the one who's most accepting of you, or what's the current situation with that? Sorry.
Well, it's weird. The most accepting person in my life is my dad, but he's the most quiet. He's the most quiet. He just leaves me alone. You know what I mean? He lets me, as long as I'm happy, he doesn't care. I've been raised with tough love by my father. My father is never known to like even come hug me. Like my dad's growing up that way too. He has a really like that, like my grandfather is just like an angry person. Like he doesn't know how to show love, and they show love by buying you things, and you don't want that. You want your dad to hug you and show emotion. I've never had that with my father. So it's my relationship with my father is so weird. I don't know if it's just in the Albanian community, but dads are so weird. I don't know. They're so like against emotions and showing you love. But I know my dad, out of everybody, my dad's been the go-to person for me.
That's awesome. That's actually unexpected, I think. I think everyone thinks mom is going to be, yeah, that's awesome. That's nice to hear though.
My mom has her days, but my mom has gone through a lot too in her relationship. As I'm sure a lot of women have gone through the same, you know, especially with, you know, abuse and stuff like that. Like my mom has gone through her traumatic experience, so I'm not as hard on my mom. I just get really hurt by her. I don't give her a hard time. I just cry when like she hurts me, and just leave it be, because I know her trauma. I know I've watched her trauma since young, 5, 6, whatever that's age I could remember her trauma. I've watched her go through a lot.
As a mother
With my
now,
father.
how old is your daughter? You don't mind me asking? How old is your daughter?
She's 8. She just turned 8.
Okay. So since becoming a mother, do you see through your mother's eyes a little bit at all now? Like, can you kind of understand, hey, being a mom, you want to protect your child? No, not at all. I'm just
it actually it's actually made me a better mom.
Yeah.
My mom, sadly, the way I was raised has made me be the best mom I can be to my daughter. It's doing things that I know that I wanted so bad. You know what I mean? I couldn't even have friends. Like, my friends wouldn't even be friends with me because they're like, this girl doesn't do anything. She's not allowed to do anything. She's boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You couldn't even have relationships with people. Like, I missed out on so much, you know, because my mom was so protective to make sure that we didn't do anything bad. We didn't have boyfriends. We didn't do anything to embarrass our family, that she sheltered us. It wasn't to protect us from, like, well, yeah, it was to protect us from that, but their concern was that image.
Yeah.
Not to, like, make sure, like, me as a mom, I want to make sure, like, her friends are good, like she's not around any, like, creepy people, to make sure she's protected. Like, but that's not gonna, you know, it's not about that. You know what I mean? It's not the image. I'm not trying to mold my child into what society wants. I don't give a shit about society. It's about making sure that she has everything she needs, and I can protect her from pedophiles, from all kinds of, you know, because that's a big thing. If you hear, a lot of women go through it, they've been molested. I've heard so many people young, you know, those are the things that scare me. Like, shit like that scares me. Nothing else. Like, I want to make sure she's safe. That's all I care about. But obviously, I'm going to be strict, but I'm also going to be lenient. You can't, because you resent your parents like that. So you learn a lot. You learn a lot from being through that pain. I don't know if you and anybody else can relate to me about being a parent now and not wanting the same life for your child. You know, I can't imagine forcing my daughter to marry somebody because that's what our culture wants. Hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
So you're kind of touching on my next question, but if you were to speak to a parent, any parent of a child who I could say is different in any way, but even more specific to the LGBTQIA plus community, what advice would you give them to help them, you know, get through it? I mean, because, you know,
there's nothing to get through.
Honestly, right word.
Honestly,
What could help them be a better parent? Like, what?
How to be a better parent is to love unconditionally. You cannot make your child live a life. That's not your life. That is yours to love unconditionally, and that is yours to guide them to the life they want in a safe way, to make sure they're making the best decisions they can make. It's not your life to choose for them. It's really not. Your job is to love them unconditionally and be their support system and, like, guide them in the right direction as far as what they need. That's all. You can't do that, or else don't have kids. If you have conditional love, if you only want them a certain way, don't have kids, because you are torturing them. It's literally living through hell on earth. Is that why? It's like, who the hell wants to live a life like that? I wanted not to live a life. I wanted to go. I was like, what the hell am I born for? You know, what was the purpose of this life? You know, if I can't live it the way I want to live it, it made no sense.
Yeah, I just can imagine being in an Albanian relationship, or any relationship, I mean, where there's a struggle even now between the two parents, where one parent could be more open and understanding and you know, like you said, let the child protect them where you could protect them and then go on, but then the other parent can be in the other side of it. So
it's hard. I know it's hard.
An more old school mentality, and
we've seen it where mom wants you to make pizza and dad wants you to read a book.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so
just something as small and basic as that.
Your daughter, can we talk about your daughter? She is beautiful.
I love talking about
her. She is amazing.
My favorite topic.
So your notoriety on Instagram. So how many followers do you have? I mean, tell us a little bit about your platforms.
I have, like, on IG, I have like 341,000, and on TikTok, I have almost 1.7 mil.
Wow. Okay, so how did that happen? I mean, you mentioned.
Oh my God.
How did it blow up? How did you go viral?
I
What's the
literally
trick?
just did some transition of like my hair was down messy, and then
Okay.
like I transitioned into the bun, and then like
Okay.
it was good. Like it was that one that popped off, and then obviously more to it. There was another one. I don't know that. So weird. I didn't think I was just fooling around. Like, swear to God, I was just fooling around because I had nothing to do. TikTok, my daughter got me into it. So I was like, I want to do this transition. I did it, posting it, not thinking that it's going to do anything because there's like millions and millions of people on TikTok. No one's going to see this.
Right.
And then I was done. Like, and it's mostly, what's funny is so much of like the straight community, women, older women, married older women that got me this far, man. That's all I know is married older women that follow.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So far, there's quiet ones that follow me too, that are young too. There's a lot of young people that follow me too. Their kids, their moms get their kids into it too. It's cute.
Okay. That's
But
interesting.
yeah, that's how I popped up.
So tell us a little bit about what was I had a question somewhere specific to your daughter, but just kind of what was it? Oh yeah, so balancing your notoriety with being a mom. So you incorporate her in your TikTok videos. Has it presented any obstacles just being Insta famous or TikTok famous? I don't even know what the term is for TikTok, but
Obstacles being TikTok famous.
yeah,
With your daughter.
with specifically to having a child and
Oh, I know. I get trolls. It's like I get hated on. It's like, you're not gay. You have a kid. You're not gay. I'm like,
okay.
stuff like that. Because I show my child, and then I get like, did you adopt her? No.
Oh wow.
Just because I'm gay doesn't mean you can't have kids. We're still women. We can birth people. Like, that doesn't mean my ovaries are gone because I'm gay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can have children in any way you want to as a woman. But yeah, that's the stuff. That's pretty much the annoying stuff I get with my daughter. Mostly, I honestly mostly get positive feedback. So can't
That's
complain.
good. That's awesome. We have a couple of questions that were submitted. Looking back at your journey of living authentically, what would have made it easier for you?
My journey.
Yeah, just your whole journey
What
of
would have
living
made it-
authentically. Yeah. What would have made it easier? Just
From my beginning to my life till now.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, it would have been easier if I had somebody, one parent, to lean on. If I had one of them to tell me it's okay, or somebody to guide me. I needed something. There was no internet. I didn't have this stuff growing up. I didn't have someone like me to tell me things that I can relate to, that I can feel like it's okay and feel safe. I didn't have that. All I had was me, myself, and I in my own head. So if I had somebody to lean on, somebody that cared about me, besides just my one friend that I barely talked to because she had her own life, I just wanted someone at home, my mom or my dad, just to be there for me. I just needed them to make me feel like it's okay that I was born like this. Like, don't make me feel bad that like I'm supposed to be a certain way, or that it's made up, or that it's just a phase, or that I'm supposed to, it's God's thing for me to fight. That's what I'm supposed to fight. It's a sin. You're supposed to, what do you mean? I don't get it. Like, why? Why do I have to? Why can't you do that? Are you gay too, that you have to fight? Are we all the same? Like, why only me? That I have to, what did I do so wrong in my past life that I have to fight my sins? I was like, what? Just like, none of it made sense.
The word allies, what does that mean to you? Can you explain to our viewers what an ally means in the LGBT community?
Specifically to you.
Just for me, it's just like a group of people. It's just a community of people that are accepting and loving and just come together to show love and acceptance for others to feel safe. I don't know. That's what it would mean to me. Is like people coming together to help others and make them feel safe. That you could trust.
Your fiance, what's her name?
Amber.
Amber. She's beautiful too. You are too, by the way. I have to tell you.
Thank you.
I think. Okay, I'm gonna rewind. That as an Albanian woman, I think a lot of you have like a thing. Like you're a beautiful woman. I don't know. She just has something. Like if you're single, I'll be like looking for a cousin to hook you up with. Okay, let me go back to the question.
Thank you. I appreciate it though. Thank you.
Okay, as you embark on your new journey of getting married, what are some cultural differences that you and your partner are integrating into your daily life? Now, for not so much daily life, yes, but I want to know, are you having a wedding?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Any traditions you're going to be keeping?
I'm gonna still do like I still love the Albanian
Are you gonna
wedding.
dance
Like
a
not
Shoqni?
like the like obviously the whole
We're doing the
tradition.
coming
Like
out.
nah.
You're
But like
not-
music, that's given. Like we're
Oh, really?
doing Albanian dancing. It's a
Oh,
given.
awesome.
Like
Oh,
I
that's
still love our culture. It's not fair to our culture that we made it like that for women. I still love being Albanian. I wouldn't change my life at all. I'm happy I'm Albanian. So hell yeah. Music, everything, yeah. Hopefully baklava and all that stuff.
I would desserts.
All right, cool. I'll make sure to invite you guys. Yeah, someone said opa, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I think, am I forgetting any of our questions that we had specific?
Well, Ria, my question, and this is your first Albanian-centric event. Can I ask what prompted you to agree to do this? And would you be willing to do this again in the future? Like
What prompted me to do this the second I heard Albanian, helping Albanian women with especially with the domestic violence and going through the whole spiel with our it just intrigued me because I think we can all relate in some way. It just, I heard it immediately and I was like, sure, for sure, count me in. If I can get my message out there and try to help, like I said, my biggest goal, if I can help one person, it means the world to me. That's why I do it. If I can help one, and I will do it. So that's why I was like, oh yeah, definitely sign me up because I can relate to probably so many people in here.
So just with what you grew up with in your view of what the Albanian household looked like and what an Albanian person was to you and your family, did you think that you had support from the Albanian community in any way? Like when you were approached with this?
Honestly, here's my issue is I'm still not comfortable around if my sister invites me to, like my sister invited me to her daughter's birthday party and her side of the family is very like homophobic. And obviously I'm not going to go without my fiance. She said, oh, you're welcome to. I'm like, oh, I'm not. I was like, I appreciate it. But I was like, I still am not comfortable around Albanians because Albanians can be very judgmental, especially the older generation. So I was like, I don't want to be uncomfortable. It's just not like, it's just not me to be uncomfortable. I don't like being around any energy that makes me feel like I'm not welcome. You know what I mean? Like, or people being fake to me and I have to fake being fake to people. I can't be fake and I don't want people to be fake knowing that they're homophobic. It just puts me in such a weird position. So those are things that like I still have a hard time. Like if I got invited to an Albanian wedding, I'm not into the dresses anymore. Like I told my mom, I don't think I can even come to my brother's wedding unless I'm wearing a suit. So if you don't want me in a suit, don't invite me. If I'm not wearing a dress, I told her, I was like, I've done enough of this pretending to be somebody for you guys. I was like, I'm not doing it anymore. So those are things that I still have to like with the Albanian culture is.
Have you been approached by Albanian guys or girls on the topic of being gay or anything that you've been through for advice? Do Albanians reach out to you or are they kind of?
I get a lot of Muslims that reach out to me. I do get a lot of Albanians, surprisingly not. I get them in my comments a lot, like in TikTok, they're like, oh, like they get excited. And that makes me so happy when I see other Albanians. Like I get so excited when I see them post the flag and say, hey, Chibe, so proud of you or whatever. It makes me so happy. Like I get that. I'm not saying every Albanian is the negative, but a lot of it, our culture does need a wake up call. You know, our culture needs to be changed. Like it needs to happen because it's just toxic for women. But
I hear you.
I normally don't have, other than those are my only issues with that. It makes me uncomfortable still. That's why I was a little, it made me nervous to do this.
You're doing so good. Everyone loves you.
I was like, oh my God, I hope these ladies love me.
Of course. No, that's what I was getting at, is that to let you know that there is an Albanian community that does support people in your situation and things that you've gone through. And, you know, it's not all, you know, we're not all crazy women sitting home making, you know, grep and garitura or whatever the hell they're called and baklava. Turkish coffee for everybody. So, you know, it's changing, you know, we're
Oh
coming
no,
up.
it is changing. I just want it to happen faster in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
wait, before we do,
Sorry.
segue and before we turn to our participants, Medina Geda, who I mentioned earlier, one of our resident therapists, made a comment, which is actually very relevant. She feels like she knows more Albanian gay guys that's becoming more accepted, but she doesn't think there's a place for Albanian.
No, I'll be better.
With that, I would say that things are changing, and I would like to introduce our co-sponsor, Remida Shkoza, who is founder of Sofra LGBTQIA+, and she will give you a little more information about that, and she's got a question as well. Thank you again, Ria.
Thank you.
She needs to unmute her. Give me a second, Amita.
Yeah, she's
Sorry.
just going to unmute Remida.
So if this is okay, we're gonna ask her to unmute, and then she can. Did that work, Amita?
Yes, thank you so
You got the
much.
floor. Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing this, Ria. It is amazing to have you and to hear your voice. You are a phenomenal bright light.
I appreciate you.
I really admire you. I really respect you. I really I feel so much for your story because I've been there myself, not specifically in the way that you have, but we do share some similarities in our trauma. And so thank you. I'm a little nervous because this is like such big energy, you know, all these things we're talking about. So it's like, I'm just going to take a little deep breath.
Go ahead. It's okay. You're doing good.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, so a little bit about Sofra, you know, I founded this group last year during COVID because, you know, I really wanted to reconnect to our roots, you know, the Albanian community. Like you said, we love our culture so much. You cannot take it away from us. It's in our blood. It's
in our blood. Exactly.
Exactly. It's even in our great hair sometimes. But there's this negativity, right? The tabooness of the homophobia and mental illness and the way the gender inequality and also how we relate culturally to each other. So creating this space for specifically Albanian LGBTQIA diaspora was really important to me. And having folks like yourself be a spokesperson for the community at large, honestly, it is tremendous because, you know, we're creating a movement and we're going to make this possible in our lifetime, mine and yours, darling. And
I would love that. I would love to.
And our children see that. Our children go to celebrate.
It's important for our kids, right?
Absolutely. So my question to you is, I had a lot of questions, but I am going to not ask you a million questions because I know some of you want to ask you. Big fan. But my question to you is, and it's more of a conversation piece, it's, you know, we talk so much about allies really supporting us and opening doors for us, but we don't really dwell into the reciprocity of allies get from us. And so what I notice is like this movement of your activism is like you're really diving into a sexual awakening of women, you know, because Albanian women have been conditioned so deeply to be so heteronormative.
Oh yeah.
And I just love the awakening. I mean, the sexuality, really feeling this beautiful energy with, and it's not just about, you know, like bow chicka bow. It's really about like, wow, I'm really feeling myself. And I think that's a really empowering thing for a woman to feel her femininity, to feel her power.
Yeah.
And you do that beautifully.
Well, I get that all the time, and I try to tell, because they're always like, you know, what am I? You know what I mean? I've never felt like this before. I'm like, you're nothing. You're just human, and you're feeling feelings. It's okay. You don't have to label it anything. It's nothing. It's literally normal to find someone attractive that you normally wouldn't. It's okay. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I can look at a guy and say, wow, he's so handsome. Like he's good looking. I can do that. Doesn't mean I want to sleep with him, but I think that, you know, it happens sometimes. It's okay. That doesn't make me still bisexual or any other way. Like I know I know my sexuality, you know what I mean? And it's just funny. It's just like, I try to make it like, it's okay. You know, it's okay to feel those things because society makes you feel like you either have to label it. You have to be a certain way. You have to be bisexual. You have to be this. You don't have to be anything. Just be you. you don't worry so much. Don't think about it so much, and don't feel like it's wrong either. Like I'm trying to tell them, feel your feelings. It's okay. It's actually beautiful to have like an awakening of your sexuality, that there's more to life than you just thinking it's always just about men. You know, there's women that can make you feel happy too. You just got to open that door sometimes. And that's okay. It's okay to try stuff. You don't have to. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm married to a woman, and I've been married to my wife for 4 years, and it's the most
That's awesome.
incredible feeling ever to have a partner that you really feel
you can relate to, right? And you feel connected and you know each other. It's different, you know, because I've been with Albanian guys. I've been married to 2 and I didn't connect like that. You know what I mean? I was just not connecting to men like that. It's just not for me. And that's not what I was into.
Absolutely. I just want to tell you that we at Sofra, we love you, and we want you to know that we hold you and you are one of us, and we will always be here for you if you ever need to connect with fellow Albanian queer people, because we are growing and our movement is just beginning. And you're a huge that movement.
Well,
we love you.
I would love to be connected to that movement and be a part of that movement. If you guys ever need me for anything, you know what I mean? Just contact my business email and I'm down if you need to be a part of something. So
We will love
I would love to help that situation be bigger and grow.
Thank you.
Thanks for your question.
Thank you, Amina. So I didn't see any hands up. Oh wait, I just got one hand up. Swada did have a question, so I'm going to give you the floor. Swada, did you want to speak or?
Hello, RIA. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Swada. We also have another movement. Kudos to Shoqni for starting this and kicking it off by having a special guest like you. You are so relatable to every single one of us here. I believe every single Albanian goes through some kind of trauma in their life. We all are facing some kind of trauma, whether because of family issues, abuse, or, coming to this country, whatever. We are all here. You're not alone. We're also hosting an event. Sorry, real quick. We started a group, Albanian Cohesive Community, where we're building an inclusion for all, sexuality, no matter what background, just Albanians coming together and accepting them however they are. Our event's on the 18th. But I wanted to ask, Zoe, the real question Zoe wanted to ask was,
you're making me nervous.
Where do you get them done at? Like, they're perfect.
Oh, my eyebrows?
That's what Zoe.
I do them by myself. I got lucky. My mom and my dad have some good eyebrows.
They are so perfect. Wow.
Yeah, I got lucky. But I put them by myself because one time I went to a salon and one was uneven and I was so embarrassed and I didn't like it. And they made them too thin and I looked stupid. So I was like, I'm never doing this again. So I just learned by myself. I was like, I'm just going to do my own eyebrows. So I don't let nobody touch them.
Wow. They're amazing. Thank you so much. Sorry. So I had to
That's all right.
I'm going to pick you up. No.
I was saving that question. I was saving that question for the after party.
Oh, that's so funny. I get that all the time. I swear my eyebrows get more attention than me. It's true.
That was part of why you have so many followers.
I always say that. I'm like, I'm dead ass. All these women love my eyebrows. That's really all it is.
Okay, Pranvera, she has her hand raised. Pranvera, I don't know if you have a reason.
Yes, sorry.
Hey, girl. Yeah, I hear you.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I don't have a question. I just wanted more of a thank you. This is so exciting and we're also looking forward to it. And your story is inspiring and heartbreaking at the same time. But I'm so glad you're able to share it with us and thank you.
No, it's a pleasure being on here and I'm so humbled. So I appreciate you guys having me on here to even share it with.
Thank
so
you.
Thank you.
And can you tell me about to zip it?
Minita, she said, shut up.
We're having our own show back here.
They're having their own conversation.
I know they are. Tell her zip it.
We're just as important. So.
They want to feel important too. That's
Okay. Thank you again, honey.
All right, no problem.
Appreciate it.
There's only one question that we had in the chat. Ria, we had a question in the chat earlier when you were talking about how you were growing up with the arranged marriages.
What was the question?
How does your daughter's father feel about this for your daughter in terms of arranged marriages and being stricter with her?
Oh, no, I don't think, I've never had that conversation with him, but I know that he's not gonna, I think we're on the same page as far as arranged marriages. Because mine and his wasn't really arranged. It was kind of like we met online. It was normal. No one pushed me into, other than my obviously wanted to escape my family. He didn't know that. I mean, it was natural. So I don't think he has that mentality of old school mentality at all. He hasn't said anything to me about my life at all because he knows I'm engaged. We just don't talk about it. He leaves me alone pretty much about my life.
Well, that's great to know that there's that amicable nature between you guys, especially since.
Yeah, we co-parent really well.
That's good. Mother, did you have another question that your hands up or? Okay, let me give her back the floor. Go ahead.
I was going to ask about co-parenting and because I feel like Albanians suck at co-parenting, although you said you guys are doing pretty well. What is the struggles and what is like one thing that you could like give him compliments on, like that you see most people don't really do well?
The thing I don't care about it too much, but since he's gotten married to a new wife, it's been more like a little harder to communicate like we used to as far as co-parenting. We used to be better at it. He's stopped that. I don't know why, probably to make his wife feel secure because, maybe she feels insecure thinking something. I don't know. But that's the only thing. His mom is still a pain in the ass, dealing with that, with being careful what she says in front of my daughter about me. I had that conversation today. She still obviously does not like me, so she says things without thinking, and then it hurts my daughter's feelings. So I had to have that conversation actually today with her dad. That's why he was calling me. Inappropriate stuff that his mom doesn't get. You know what I mean? That she thinks my daughter doesn't understand Albanian, but she does. I mean, my daughter understands Albanian. We all still talk to her Albanian, you know what I mean? But she thinks she has no idea. Yeah, so that's the only issue I really have is his mom mainly. And then obviously they think that, just because of a new woman comes in the picture it's like, it changes. It doesn't. So she's only 8 years old. You know what I mean? So everything that we communicate now, it really just goes through my daughter. He tells her and that's all. Like we don't really talk too much unless it's important.
Do you think like her stepmother, like how's the relationship building between them two?
Here's the problem. It's like me, I would be okay introducing him to Amber so he feels okay knowing that his daughter's safe. And I wish I could do the same, but I know Albanians don't give a shit about stuff like that. You know what I mean? Once you're divorced, it's like you're lucky you even like exist anymore. Once you're divorced, that's it. There's no talking anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you have a daughter, it's kind of still, she's going to get married one day, hopefully, whatever if she doesn't, she doesn't, but there's going to be important events in her life that you're going to have to get over and we're going to be in the same room. So it's like, why not just introduce me to your wife? We can be friends. We can be cool. You know what I mean? I have my life, you have your life, but it's never going to be that way. And I already know that. So that's the immaturity level in the Albanian culture,
exactly.
With stuff like that. Because I see it with other Americans, you know what I mean? I see it. A lot of them end up being best friends with.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
you do a good job with Amber's kids. Like we watch you. You're a great person all around.
Yeah.
Like you try to be there.
She's amazing with my daughter, but her ex is the same way too. It's like, but that's a whole different situation. Mine's because of the culture. Hers is because he's just him. He just can't get over stuff. But for me, in the culture, it's that like they can't just move. It's like you're evil to them and you're a shithead and they can't get over it anymore. It's like I don't know if it's his mom. I don't know.
I think it's men, like they feel like, because I'm going through that too. Like my kid's I'm a single mom with 2 kids as well, and they're teens. They haven't seen their father for the past 8 years, a good 8 years, and he has zero communication. It's like Albanian men get angry and it's like they're not responsible for their kids. So I was hoping you guys had a better relationship.
As you're bringing that up right now, like he's actually gotten a little bit more distant because he has a newborn, not newborn, but he's like a couple months old, and his stepdaughter too. So he has his whole own family. So he's actually, it upsets me a little bit. He's actually distanced himself from my daughter a little bit. He used to call her, text her all the time. He has like killed that a lot. It's like the last time it happened was, I don't know, probably like in August, like the last time he texted her. He would text her on the daily. So he's like chilled with that. It's like,
yeah,
I know that's changed.
They'll regret it later on. And thank you so much. I'll let somebody else answer a question. Thank you.
No problem. No problem.
Thank you, Swada. I'm going to open it to Guzel has a question. I have Bulza and then Dila, who's the other Shoqni. Sorry about that, Dila. Okay, so Guzel.
Thank you so much, Shoqni lady. It's so amazing actually to be here with all of you. My name is Giselle or Giza Janoshai, and I have a similar story. RIA, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's such a powerful time for us stories that actually are felt and experienced in isolation, you know. So I'm just like, my heart is so full right now because so much of my story has been in isolation, and like just a select few people that I'm so grateful I've had to help me through the process. But there's so many out there that I feel are now being supported. RIA, specifically for you telling this story. So thank you. Thank you for the courage to tell your story, because it's inspiring to all of us, and to myself included. So I had no questions. I just wanted to say thank you, because this is so beautiful for our community to have these conversations that were always kept hidden. So thank you again.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Dila, unmute for a question.
Hello, I'm Dila. I am from Michigan. Hi. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. I want to applaud you for being so open. A little nervous because, you know, I hate speaking like in front of all these people, but
it's okay. All I see is you and me right now. It's all okay. It is. Just relax.
You know, I know some people who struggle with their sexuality, for example. They self-medicate, they harm themselves, and you speaking openly and honestly, it's going to help them even reach one person. You know, you've saved their life, because as soon as they go to that direction, you know, sooner or later their life is over. And I hope that somebody's going to listen to this and you're going to reach them and they're going to save their life.
That's what I'm trying to do. That's why, as much as it hurts me repeating my story all the time, it really does help people. And I get it all the time, you know, that I inspire them somehow. Not even just my the whole, just being confident and just being okay with who they are. It doesn't matter who they are. It could be just anything. Just stop caring so much about what the world thinks about you. Because there's more people out here who love you, that care about you, than you think. You know what I mean? There's so much community around us, and you guys like this is a beautiful thing too. Like, there's so much surrounding us of support. You're not alone. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have, what's the worst that's going to happen? Someone's not going to like you. So what? You're not living for them. You're living for you. Like, who cares?
Exactly.
That's the people you don't need in your life, is who don't like you because you are who
exactly.
You are.
And that's what I want to throw back at you, because I was divorced very young from a very abusive relationship, arranged marriage. And I heard, I held up my head high. I didn't care what anybody had to say, because, you know, it's always our fault, no matter what.
It's always the woman.
Yeah. They could have, you know, stuck a knife through you, and oh, you deserved it. You know, you fell on top of that knife, kind of thing.
Yep.
And the day I stopped caring is when they said, well, pretty shpilak skisha melon burin. Okay, for a slap, I wouldn't have left my husband. That's when I knew that nobody had my back but me.
No one cares. You gotta do what's best for you.
And you,
no one's gonna live your life other than you. You gotta live your life. And you know what? This is one life. God gave it to you. Whatever is up there gave it to you. Live your best life.
Yeah.
You're not hurting anybody. What's the issue? That's what makes you happy. If kissing a tree makes you happy, why do I care? You know what I mean? That's not my business. That's what I try and tell people. Just mind your business about what other people are doing. So I'm so used to people being in our business. Albanians are always in Albanians' business. It's like, worry about your own house. Worry about your own kids. Worry about your own family. Stop snooping on what your neighbor's doing and talking about people. Why? Does that make you feel good? I don't understand why. I've never had the need to talk about another person's life because I know I've been that person where I don't want to. I've been judged my entire life. So it's like when people judge me now, it's like I'm so numb to it. It's like like get in line. Like
we were groomed from birth. That even wearing glasses was frowned upon because you were different, right?
It's sad. That's how sad it is.
Thank you, Dila.
Thank you.
There was a comment in the chat, Ria, about doing the silhouette challenge.
I've been asked to do that constantly.
Wait, somebody has to explain this to me. Why, like,
it's a thirst trap. It's like a song and then the light dims to red. So you see like sexy, like you're doing sexy poses. I don't know. It's like if people just want a thirst trap. That's what they want. They want that thirst trap.
Got it. So are you doing it?
I get it in every
and when
video
are you
I do. They're like, Aria, you didn't do it yet. I'm like, okay. I get tagged a lot to do all kinds of challenges. Like,
will you be doing it? Is the question?
I guess if everyone's asking me, yeah.
We got the 50 people
I don't like
here.
to be one of those to do the same trends, everybody. I like to be different. I like to
apparently they like that one. For you.
Okay. Fine.
Okay, we have Bulza back. We're gonna try to get her back on. Bulza.
Hey, sorry for before because my battery died.
It's all right.
I was waiting for my turn, and as soon as it came,
I know
my battery
you left,
died.
and I saw some other lady's face, and I was like, "Oh, it's not her. He's gone."
Yeah. First time I saw you on TikTok, and I don't know why, I just had that feeling that you were Albanian.
I look Albanian, right? I look Albanian or Italian or Spanish. Somebody tells me all those three, but
yeah, I'm a huge supporter of yours. I'm truly so sad for all that you've been through, but on the other side, I am so happy and so proud of what you have achieved. And I know you're an excellent mom. I know that, and just always remember that you have our support. You know.
Thank you.
I'm going to say something in Albanian right now because I'm emotional too from all that I've heard. And sometimes when I get emotional, my English just
you need to speak. It's
goes
okay.
away.
I
Yeah.
understand you. I can understand you. Go ahead.
Kanjherë nuk është veç gjaku, familja. Sometimes familja jote është ata që s'janë hip gjaku jatë.
Exactly.
You know, I know it hurts you. I know it's hard for you. But I know another thing, that you're a very, very strong woman. So never give up.
Thank you.
We're all with you. Now I have to go because I have to put my kids to sleep.
You're going to make me cry, so that's good timing. Thank you.
We're so proud of you. Don't cry because you're a strong woman and you're an excellent mom.
Thank you. I needed that today. I've had a rough couple of days, so thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you, Bulza.
I appreciate you too. Good night, guys. It was thank you, Zoe and Susie for doing this.
Thank you.
Good night, guys.
All
should be.
We had one quick. Thank you, Bulza. You had one quick anonymous question. Then we have a couple people raising their hands, so we'll try to get through this quickly. From a friend anonymous question from a friend wanting to know if it's easier for girls or for guys in our community to come out.
Oh God, just because guys get away with more in our culture, like I said, they could do the worst and it's still different. As far as in general, I feel like it's guys get the harder time because it's like more frowned upon that guys are gay than it is a female. So I think girls get away girls are seen as like we're more sexualized. So it's seen different when two girls are together, but guys get a lot of more hatred in general. I don't know in our culture. I know my cousin is openly gay. He's a male. He was the first openly gay person in our family, and I know he got a lot of hate. I recall him having to like even disappear, like social media, disappear like from family, never come to events. Like he did get a lot of hate, and the things I would hear people say, even in our family, it was really rough. So, and I was still in the closet at that point, so I felt for him, and that made me more scared to come out.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it's tough. Somebody mentioned it earlier, where I think Ramida actually touched on the subject, where it's more accepting for the guys, and right now for the females, it's not as okay, if you will.
I don't hear it. What's sad is I wish I knew more. I wish I knew more gays in the Albanian community, at like females, so I can relate to and connect to. But I don't really see
there for you.
I feel like
I'll put you in touch with you.
there's so many that still are afraid to come out. You know what I mean? There's a lot that are afraid to come out.
Ina's iPhone doesn't look like she has her camera on. Well, let's see if she can get her question in. I'm always wary about people that their cameras on. Let's see. Lena, are you there?
Okay, is that better?
Oh, there you are. Thank
Okay,
you.
see, I'm not a creep. Okay. Hey, Ria. Okay, I just had a really quick question. I was just wondering, like, being who you are today and like everything that you've been through, I was just wondering, like, what kind of advice would you give to like your younger self, like when you realized that like you were interested in women?
That it's okay that you are who you are, and that you're not gonna go to hell for being who you are, and to accept who you are, because that's who you're meant to be, and it's okay, and not to be afraid. I think that's the advice I would give myself, that your life is going to be exactly how you want it to be down the road. It's going to be hard, but it's okay. It's okay to be you and not to be afraid. I think that's what I would tell myself, because that's all I ever remember feeling young, is that fear. And if my family found out I was going to die, you know what I mean? Like my family would threaten me, like, if you do anything, if I married outside of the culture, you know what I mean? They were afraid I'd marry outside of dude. They were afraid I was gonna slip and have boyfriends on the side and sleep with people and ruin my virginity. You know what I mean? Everything. I couldn't even pluck my eyebrows because they're like bareos, you know what I mean? They're gonna think you're a whore because you did your eyebrows. You know what I mean? So I had bushy eyebrows at little, or not little, in high school for no reason. I was like, why can't I just do my eyebrows so people don't make fun of me? But yeah, I think that's what I would tell myself. It's okay, and you're not, there's nothing wrong with you. I think that's what I would tell myself, pretty much.
I think that's really powerful. Glad you shared that. And also, if Amber's there, tell her I said, hey, girl.
Hi.
Yeah, sorry. Not wearing makeup, but also.
Hey, Amber, just wanted to say hey.
Hi.
Oh my God, look at you're so pretty.
Thank you.
Okay, good night, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Dora, you can jump on.
Hi. Okay, so I found you on TikTok before I knew you were Albanian, and you're my girl crush. My husband already knows that, but I'm the girl who made the mugs and but my gay cousin actually has a question.
Your gay cousin has a question?
Area. You guys can hear me all right?
A little bit. I'm going to try my best to hear you, though.
Yeah. All right. All right. Can you guys hear me?
A little bit, yeah. Try.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but your screen froze, so I can't see you. So if my facial expressions don't add up, I'm sorry.
Yeah, first of all, I wanted to say I actually saw you on TikTok as well. And I did not know that. That's all right. I guess, all right. So anyways, I found you, or I saw you on TikTok as well, and I did not know you were Albanian either. But you know, when my cousin told me about this, it was actually really comforting, you know, like other people were saying, it's really comforting to know that I'm not alone in this, you know. And to hear your story, it's really beautiful. It's beautiful to hear the heartbreak that you went through and the strength that you got out of it, and to be sharing that, you know, with people who are like you. So you know, you say like, I hope I can help one person tonight, you know, like I'm that little gay person that maybe you helped tonight, you know what I mean? Like I needed to hear the hope in the story.
There's hope.
You know, and my question though that I actually had for you is like, so I came out like 7 years ago, and I had the traditional Albanian family. I had the traditional Albanian father, you know, like extremely narrow-minded as he is. And he didn't speak to me for a few years after I first came out. How did you go from being almost physically harmed by your father to him basically being your biggest ally? Like, how do you get there?
Time. I guess the older you get, they don't have control over you anymore. So like that's, they scare you when you're younger because they have that control. You still, it's so crazy how in life you literally, the older you get, the more you start not giving a shit about anyone else's. I don't know how old you are, but I'm 33. So with me, it took getting older to realize, and with a child to be like, yeah, we're not going to do this anymore. I know they weren't going to harm me because I had a daughter. I have a child, like they're not going to do anything. So for me, it literally just took time for my dad to come around to realize this is who she is. And it's like they almost want to just like push you to the point where like they want you to not be, and they're thinking that they're going to cause you to not be gay by being like that. I don't know, but you just stick your ground and just be who you are. They're going to have to come around at some point. If they love you unconditionally, they're going to come around. It just takes time for them to just accept something like that. It really does.
A question related to the daughter, since you brought that up, from the Facebook feed. How does your daughter feel about having two moms? Does she verbalize anything?
You like having two moms?
Yes.
What do you feel when you see two of us together in love?
I feel grateful.
You feel, come here, say hi over here, come on.
Aww.
Tell.
We have a special guest.
We'll ask her, because since it's about her. Everybody wants to know how it makes you feel when you see two moms happily in love and care about you. They want to know.
I feel grateful.
And what else? Grateful
and happy.
And happy. Yeah. Do you love Amber? Like she calls Amber mommy, by the way.
Aw.
Yeah. You love Amber, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She does your hair. She does things with her. Amber does things to her that I don't know, like makeup and like her hair. I don't know any of that, so I'm so grateful that she knows all that stuff. So I'm like, but yeah, literally my daughter's obsessed. She wouldn't want it any other way. If I can put her words together, this is all she knows. My daughter has never known different. I left her dad when she was not even 2. She had no idea. But this is all she knows. And even like color, you know, black and white. The kids only know what you teach them. And if you teach them hatred, if you show them hatred and judgment, if you only show them that you're judgmental, they're going to see that. They're going to feel that. Not every kid gets, we all break the cycle. A lot of people break that cycle, you know, because I grew up in a very homophobic and racist household, you know. It was like Zizoks were a bad thing, you know what I mean? But we didn't allow, being in this country has opened, having friends, having all different types of friends. I grew up in diversity. So having that helped me say, no, you're wrong. Like I'd fight with my mom about, you know, I wouldn't fight too much about them being homophobic because I'm like, I'm going to give it away. They're going to think I'm homophobic. Like I'm gay. So I was like, I'm like, let me like chill with that one. But I would stick up for Black people all the time when they would be racist for no reason, like my friends, and like what's your problem? Like, who cares? I was like, that's not fair. God made them. You believe in God. I was like, you pray all day. I was like, those aren't human beings. I was like, why do you pray? Don't pray.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not the same. So don't pray. You're a hypocritical person. And I was like, you're a hypocrite. I was like, that makes no sense. None of that made sense to me. I'm like, I don't understand. If you, especially religion, it's like, I grew up Muslim, so it's like, it's frustrating how people turn religion into such a bad thing to the point where like, I hate it. I hate religion. Like, I'm very spiritual now. I believe what I want to believe. I'm a good person. And I know I'm going to go far in life, and I know where I'm going to end up in life. And if I don't, that's my problem. You know, if I'm sinning, that's I answer to God. No one else. It's still no one's business what I do in my life. But that's the whole point. Is like, religion is so toxic too. People make that toxic. You know what I mean? So it's all about how you teach your kids, how you raise them. It's all you.
Thank you, Ria. I actually teared up for the first time seeing your daughter. That was so special. Thank you for putting her on. That was the highlight. That was the highlight of this whole chat.
Well,
so,
I could say anything and just talk for her, but I'm like, they won't believe me. Let me put her on. Then maybe you'll know that like I'm not lying.
That was awesome.
She's good. She's happy.
That's awesome. Can I get one more question?
Yeah.
Two if we're lucky. Let's do Mila. Here.
Totally not camera ready, but I'm
There
gonna
you
turn it on. Well, Ria, thank you. I mean, I know we've all been talking about your eyebrows and your perfect jaw. And you are
That's a topic always.
But I wanna tell you that my heart is pounding right now because our community needs this so much. And to piggyback on Maggie's argument, our culture's problem is not just the LGBTQ problem.
Oh, it's
we
all around.
Big problem all around, especially for those of us that grew up here. And, you know, I grew up with, you know, you can't date this person. I came here as a refugee at 15 in the US. So it was like, you can't date this person. You can't date, period. It has to be an Albanian, blah, 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 this and that. And I am very traditional. So I knew I wanted to marry an Albanian. And during my college years, when I would go back, everybody's like, oh, we're setting you up with this guy and that guy. And I told my parents that I love you guys very much, but if I'm going to find somebody, it's going to be because I found them. And so not all of us have that ability to confront our families like that, because we have been raised in that way that you just listen to your parents and do what they're telling you. And not that that's wrong. I mean, most our parents love their children and they think they're doing their best. And so I wanted to go to the point and say that you went through all of this because your parents didn't know how to love you unconditionally, because that's how they were set. And you also allowed it because you loved your parents so much. You went through 2 marriages and so many breakups and heartbreaks and, you know, heartache. But this is a bigger conversation for our community. And I am so excited that we are starting to make it. Just think about yourself, how you're being a trailblazer for so many in our community. And you're just the first step of what's gonna come.
Exactly.
In the years to come. So I can see in the way you talk that you have so much confidence and will and passion, but I can also see that to have somebody to talk to besides the people that are in your circle, because sometimes we just need to have that peace of mind. We might have the confidence and the will and the power, but sometimes we just need that peace of mind to ourselves.
For sure.
But to all of these women that I am so excited to be part of this group for so long, and continue to do what you're doing, girl.
I will. I'll still keep killing it and still be preaching what I preach. And I'm hoping to go further and further to keep doing this. So
and just remember that it's up to our generation to make these changes, but we also have to keep in mind, because we know where we come from, that our parents might not know how to support us. Even if they might not know how to support us. So it might be a good thing to start through that angle of informing our families in ways that nobody might have thought, because they're Albanian and because they've been set in so many ways that sometimes if we tell other people, they'll be like, seriously?
Yeah.
So I really think that we need to start talking. I mean, personally, there was a point where I'm young. I had that idea of, come on, you're telling me these things. God made us a certain way, because of how you grow up. And then the more you open yourself up to the world and to the way things work, you learn. Us as young people, imagine our parents and grandparents, they have absolutely zero background on how to begin to understand us, to understand our world. So I think all of us need to work with our family, our community, in educating them.
Exactly. But I think somebody just nailed it on the head with that one, that they really are way too concerned about everyone else thinking badly of them. And
all
I think
of us do that.
Yeah.
All of us do that. That's their main problem. That's our community's main problem, is we live for our neighbors, not
to
for
please others. Yeah, I know.
So thank you, girl. And you have us, you have our back, and just keep going. Live your life the way you want to.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Meili. I'm going to put Betty on really quick if you're there. And then I have one more.
Hi, Ria.
Hi.
I am representing the older generation. I am probably old like your mom, older. I don't know. I want to tell you, I'm an ally. I support you. I found you on TikTok in April and told all my children to follow you.
Thank you.
I was very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
I am a part of the AACC, the Albanian American Cohesion Community, and we have a huge event on the 18th. You should really join us.
Sure. Let me know more about it. Hit me up in my business email.
We will send you all the info and everything on it. And my daughter is on this Zoom, and I know she's very proud of me because they know I have 3 23-year-old, 20 and 18, and they know that they can be anyone they want to be.
Well, they're lucky to have you. I swear, you're lucky to have a mom like this. You're amazing.
Love is love, and love has no gender to me. They are free to be who they want. My 23-year-old has a boyfriend openly. Deber is brewing because she does. Don't care. Don't care.
Don't care as long as your kids are happy.
Don't care. He comes over. They went on vacation. Don't care.
Don't care. Proud of you. That's awesome.
And my
Please adopt me, somebody said. Yeah, adopt
So
us.
I just want you to know we love you. We support you. And we are here for you. And whatever you
Likewise.
need.
Thank you.
We're here.
Thank you so much. Means a lot.
I'll be a granny if I have to. No problem.
All right. That makes me feel happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Betty. I have a question, actually. I meant to ask this earlier in our questions. Where are you going from here? Where do you want to go? I don't know that you wanted to, I don't think your goal was to get 1.7 million followers. You don't seem the type, yeah, you didn't want to do it for the fame and the fortune. Of course, that's extra, that's great.
I was being silly.
Now that you have this platform, I think COVID probably affected your ability to grow, but had you had the chance to grow without COVID, where would you have gone? And more importantly, where do you want to go now?
Without COVID, if I didn't get on TikTok, you mean?
Well, no. So COVID stopped you from leaving.
Oh, I would have been part of so many events. I've gotten asked to be a part of so many, even school. I have another college event too, like speaking for, because I had done a college one, Southern California. I actually have another speaking event with another college. I get approached to do these speaking events a lot, lot. Podcasts, everything. So if it wasn't for COVID, I'd be out there doing it person to person, interacting with people, meeting people. It's like, it does more when you're one-on-one in the building with these people than it does on camera. And I wish I could be more hands-on involved. But that's where I would have been right now. This is all I got. And this is the best I can do right now because of COVID. And I hope to continue this and grow and get the and make it a whole movement and go out there and just try to change people's lives and motivate people, inspire people that there is light at the end of the tunnel. You think there isn't, but there is. It's how you choose. You choose your own path. And this is, we have to know that you have to feel grateful where you live, because there's so many people in so many countries that can't be who they are because it's a crime. You know what I mean? And that's what sits in my head is like, I'm lucky. So they can't speak. They can't say anything. So if we don't speak to change something, if we don't all come together and speak on this, who's going to help them? We got to help them. And even in this country, people are still scared. They have, their own issues, but in those countries where it's done, like, they really can't do anything. I want to speak out on those people, hoping one day, I don't know, that LGBTQ is more accepting of just acceptance in these countries that are so hard. You know what I mean? It's hard on me. I can't even go on vacation wherever I want to with my fiance, or honeymoon wherever I want to, because it's not accepted everywhere. You can't be gay there. You'll go to jail. So it's like sad. So it's like, you have to speak up on stuff like this. You can't be scared. You have to. How does change happen if you don't speak, if you don't go out there doing something about it? You know what I mean?
So what do you want to plug? Where can we follow you?
Question before you do.
Oh, wait. Susie has a question.
I have a
Sorry.
quick question. To piggyback off of Zoe's question in your comments, I know you're heavily involved with the Trevor Project. Are there any other charities that you did personally? Also, any work that you have coming up with Trevor Project, or any plans on your part to start your own NGO?
I hope to one day start my own foundation, one day to help in the LGBTQ, especially people that feel like they're not safe at home. They need something. I want to do that one day, especially for the kids. My main is the kids, because I know how it feels to be a child and feel these feelings and have nowhere to go. So one day I hope to have my own foundation. As what was the other question?
I know that like I said,
if there's any other charities
project, do you have any events coming up, any other organizations that you're involved in?
I was involved in the American Heart Association.
I
was involved in that just passed by. The only events I got coming up is the college one, more speaking stuff right now. As far as that, I do try to donate as much as I can on my own things. Like, if I can, I do on my own. Like, whatever I do it on my own. I rarely am involved personally one-on-one with charities. I don't get reached out. I do it like the Trevor Project is because I want to do it. No one's reached out to me from the Trevor Project. I just do it because it's there and I want to help. You know what I mean? The American Heart, that was all. I wanted to be involved in it. I made myself involved in it. But I get more involved in the speaking events and trying to put myself out there with my story.
Okay. Well, going forward, know that if you personally become involved in your own NGO, or if there's any particular charity or fundraiser that you want to draw attention to, Shoqni is here to help support you with that.
That means a lot. Thank you.
We often promote charities and whatnot, people in need all the time. We'd be more than happy to help in any way that we can. Just feel free to reach out at any point.
Thank you so much.
On that note, I think.
Well, where can we follow you? So what's your TikTok? What's your Instagram?
It's the same as my IG. Everything is the same. It's literally RIA_, D3 MIRI. So the 3 is like an E. I just put it backwards because I didn't have the regular username. So the 3 is gonna throw you off, but literally RIA_D3 MIRI is the same. TikTok and IG is the same. And I'm on IG live more than anything. So if you guys like, you can always follow me on IG. The most is when I'm on there live, and I'm on there a lot, chit-chatting about anything. I answer questions like I do here. This is like similar to what I do on live. It's just face-to-face.
Okay. And you have a merch line?
Yes, she does.
I do. Yeah, I do. It's on my bio on my IG, but it's riamerch.com. That's it. RIAmerch.com.
You're so quiet about it. Tell us more.
Tell you more.
So there's kids. There's a kids line, right?
Yeah, there is a kids line. I started it as a movement more that represents me, and it's to make people feel like they mean something, that they're worth more than like I didn't feel, like I said, I didn't feel my whole life like I was worthy of anything. I didn't feel enough. So I just wanted to put something out there for people to feel like they are enough and feel good wearing something. And it's like, you know, there's a message on there that it's coming from my heart. So that's what it's just like one of those things to represent me and what I stand for.
Don't be shy. Tell us how great it is, and tell
It's amazing.
Everybody go buy something.
I mean, if you don't have it yet, why don't you?
There you go. That's what we're looking for.
And I appreciate the support. If you do, you're supporting me too. That's part of my income too, to keep doing what I'm doing. So thank you if you are. If not, either way, thank you for following me. It means a lot to me, and just supporting my cause. So thank you.
Do you have a business or professional email? You said for
yeah, it's on my. It's also linked on my IG. You can literally hit it. It's just hit the. It says email. It'll direct you to my. And I'm always answering them. So if I need to be any information that you want to get across to me, you can reach me there.
Her manager will respond.
Yeah,
her daughter, obviously. No.
My daughter's my manager.
All right, Ria, it was more than amazing. It was great meeting you. Thank you for opening up so much. Thank you for, I mean, you touched on subjects that, you know, we didn't think you were gonna go to, but you know, that was amazing that you did. So thank you for that. We love you.
Yes, we hope
I
this
appreciate you guys so much.
was a pleasant one for you as it was for us.
It was. This was good for me, and I kind of feel good talking to people who can understand what I'm saying as far as our culture and what I really experienced. So it felt good to talk to women who understand. Also, I'd like to thank Pramvera for putting this together. So thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Pramvera, for being instrumental in all of this.
I appreciate it.
Anything else?
I don't know. I think
oh, Maggie's got hearts up. That's cute. Aww. Did her daughter make that? That was cute.
Maggie's daughter's got some artwork for you on screen.
We'll auction that off one day.
But anyways, thank you everybody with the questions, everything. Like this whole experience was fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
Have
for
a great
watching,
night, everybody. See you next time. Bye.
Later. Bye.